All right, yeah, well, so unfortunately, we have new information about the Uvalde police. And as you guys know, it is a law of nature that every single time we learn something new about the Uvalde police, it has to be bad. This story has day by day gotten worse and worse and worse. So this is in The Guardian. Texas school shooting, heavily armed police with ballistic shields were there, quote, within 19 minutes. 19 minutes. So remember, they said, oh, we had to wait for the people with the better gear. We were there with just our pistols. We didn't have the right gear, so we couldn't take this guy on. And they made it seem like, oh, those people got there in like 45 minutes. No. Heavily armed police with ballistic shields were there within 19 minutes, and they sat around again for more than an hour. Wow. So they say timeline published in local news reports suggests police in Uvalde had ability to confront gunmen far earlier during May attack in which 21 died. So keep this in mind, because honestly, even this headline is a little bit misleading. Okay? So the people with all geared up with everything they needed were there within 19 minutes, but wait until you see how quickly other cops got there. Okay, this might give you an aneurysm. Multiple police officers armed with rifles and at least one ballistic shield were at the site of the Robb Elementary School mass shooting in Texas within 19 minutes, earlier than previously known, according to a timeline and documents reviewed by local media. The information revealed by the Austin American-Statesman and KVUE-TV is to be presented to public Texas Senate hearing in Austin on Tuesday. Concerns have been raised about how police handled the 24th of May shooting in Uvalde, in which 19 children and 2 teachers were shot dead by gunmen. Officers did not confront the gunman for more than an hour, even as anguished parents outside the school urged officers to go in. So it's not even like they were sitting there and doing nothing or sitting there and trying to come up with a plan. They actively were spending most of their mental and physical energy holding back parents, handcuffing some parents, tasing some parents, and when they would urge them to go in, they would brush them off. According to the outlets, which did not indicate the source of the documents, investigators said the latest information indicated officers had more than enough firepower and protection to take down the gunman long before they finally did. The timeline the American Statesman and KVUE reported from the documents included footage from inside the school that showed the 18-year-old gunman casually entering a rear door at 11:33 a.m., walking to a classroom and immediately spraying gunfire before barricading himself. Video showed 11 officers entering the school 3 minutes later, the outlets reported. 3 minutes later. Let me repeat that. He entered the rear door at 11:33 a.m., walking to a classroom and immediately spraying gunfire before barricading himself. Video showed 11 officers entering the school 3 minutes later. He went in spraying at 11:33, firing. They knew he was firing. They got there 3 minutes later, 11 of them, and said, hey, dog, I don't know what you want me to do, but we just got pistols here, and he's got much more powerful weaponry, so we can't do anything. It looks like little Timmy and little Betty might have to die. Jesus Christ, man. School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo called the Uvalde Police Department landline and reported that their suspect had shot a lot with an AR-15 style rifle and outgunned the officers at the school, who he said were armed only with pistols, the outlets reported. Okay, there were 11 of you, and your job is to protect and serve, and he's currently massacring babies. Take your fucking pistol and get to work. Or just step down and don't be an officer. This is what you signed up for. Now go protect and serve. 4 minutes later at 11:44 a.m., body camera video recorded the sound of more gunshots. At 11:52 a.m., the first ballistic shield arrived as officers grew impatient to act. Arredondo struggled to find a key to the classroom door. Get this. Even though no one is believed to have tried opening the door, the outlets reported. The door was unlocked. Another officer with a ballistic shield arrived at 12:03 p.m., and another came with a shield 2 minutes later, about 30 minutes before officers finally breached the classroom door. Arredondo is heard wondering aloud if the gunman could be shot through a window. At 12:46 p.m., Arredondo told the tactical team members to breach the door. When ready, the outlets reported. In the past week, the San Antonio Express-News reported that video surveillance footage from the school did not show officers attempting to open the door leading to the classrooms where the massacre was happening. And the New York Times reported 2 Uvalde City police officers told a sheriff's deputy that they passed up a fleeting chance to shoot the gunman while he was still outside the school because they feared they would hit children. Delays in the law enforcement response have been the focus of the federal, state, and local investigations of the massacre and its aftermath. Questions about the law enforcement response began days after the massacre. Colonel Steve McCraw, director of the Texas Department of Public Safety, said on May 27th that Arredondo made the wrong decision when he chose not to storm the classroom for more than 70 minutes, even as trapped fourth graders inside 2 classrooms were desperately calling 911 for help. By the way, story came out today. The top police in Texas said every single thing about this was wrong, and they were cowards and they shouldn't have did what they did. So now you have people with real power saying, no, we're throwing you under the bus because you deserve to be thrown under the bus. But again, will anything come of this? At the very least, they should all be fired. I sincerely believe all of them should be charged. Also, we covered the other day, they hired a private law firm to block the release of all of the information around the shooting. They're trying to block, it's over 100 different pieces of evidence. They want to block the body camera footage. They want to block pictures. They don't want to release anything around it. Look, what are they hiding? Because we already view them as terrible, useless, negligent, etc. I mean, I genuinely think it's possible that maybe one of them shot a kid or shot multiple kids. Because they've done, how could it get any worse than what they already did? That's the only thing that could be worse, is if they shot kids. And they may have, because they're trying to hide all of the evidence. Arredondo later said he didn't consider himself the person in charge and assumed someone else had taken control of the law enforcement response. Arredondo has declined repeated requests for comments to the Associated Press. No shit. So the guy who was in charge was like, I didn't even know I was in charge, dog. Unbelievable cowardice. On June 2nd, State Senator Roland Gutierrez said it was a system failure that Arredondo received no word of the pleas for help from people inside the school because he had no two-way radio link with the city police. Quote, I want to know specifically who was receiving the 911 calls, Gutierrez said during a news conference. The Uvalde School Board heard from members of the public on Monday, including relatives of those killed in the attack. They took turns criticizing the police response and what they described as lax security measures at the school in general. Look, if I'm these parents, I'd want to stone these fuckers to death. Hearing what they did, seeing what they did. Liliana Garcia, 16, is the daughter of teacher Irma Garcia, who was killed in the shooting, and Jose Garcia, who died of a heart attack 2 days later. Quote, the knowledge of being orphaned at such a young age is inconceivable, she told the school board. These are the consequences my family has to suffer due to the lack of due diligence. I would like to share a quote of one of my sister's agonizing cries. She said, quote, my mom died protecting her students, but who was protecting my mom? Certainly not the Uvalde Police Department. A legislative committee looking at law enforcement response completed another day of closed-door hearings in Uvalde on Monday. After opening statements by State Representative Dustin Burrows, who is chairing the committee investigating the shooting, the committee went into executive session, blocking the public from hearing witness testimony. Burrows did not immediately emerge from the executive session on Monday afternoon to make a statement on the day's testimony. Burrows said that testimony would continue on Tuesday in Austin. All right. They were there in 3 minutes, man. And they were there with heavy gear within 19 minutes. It just keeps getting worse. Keeps getting worse. Fire every one of them. Charge them for the love of God. They need to know that they have to do their damn job. If anybody else didn't do their job like these cops didn't do their job, they would be fired immediately. You'd be fired on the spot. This is like being hired to be a surgeon, and then The day of the surgery comes, they cut dude open on the table, and the surgeon just goes to leave and plays golf. People be like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, exactly. What the fuck are you doing? You should be fired because you didn't do your job. Again, or charged. I really think charged. But anyway, hopefully I don't have to give you guys any more updates on this. Hopefully this is the end of it. But I got a bad feeling it's not. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.